Hello, my name is Estelle, and I look forward to narrating your next Solid Gold audiobook. I was a professional singer for 13 years and love being in studio, and I'd be very excited to narrate your audiobook. I'm going to read 3 samples for you today. The first is from Roald Dahl, from The Twits. Mr. Twit was one of these very hairy-faced men. The whole of his face, except for his forehead, his eyes and nose, was covered with thick hair. The stuff even sprouted in revolting tufts out of his nostrils and earholes. Mr. Twit felt this hairiness made him look terrifically wise and grand. But in truth, he was neither of these things. Mr. Twit was a twit. He was born a twit, and now, at the age of 60, he was a bigger twit than ever. My next sample is from Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, from The Lobster Quadrille. "Thank you," said Alice. "It is very interesting. I never knew so much about whiting before." "I can tell you more than that if you like," said the Gryphon. "Do you know why it's called a whiting?" "I never thought about it," said Alice. "Why?" "It does the boots and shoes," the Gryphon replied very solemnly. Alice was thoroughly puzzled. "Does the boots and shoes?" she repeated in a wondering tone. "Why, what are your shoes done with?" said the Gryphon. "I mean, what makes them so shiny?" Alice looked down at them and considered a little before she gave her answer. "They are done with blacking, I believe." "Boots and shoes under the sea," the Gryphon went on in a deep voice, "are done with whiting. Now you know." "And what are they made of?" Alice asked, in a tone of great curiosity. "Soles and eels, of course," the Gryphon replied rather impatiently. "Any shrimp could have told you that." For my final sample, I'm reading an excerpt from Deception Point by Dan Brown. Prologue. Death in this forsaken place could come in countless forms. Geologist Charles Brophy had endured the savage splendor of this terrain for years, and yet nothing could prepare him for a fate as barbarous and unnatural as the one about to befall him. As Brophy's 4 huskies pulled his sled of geologic sensing equipment across the tundra, the dogs suddenly slowed, looking skyward. "What is it, girls?" Brophy asked, stepping off the sled. Beyond the gathering storm clouds, a twin-rotor transport helicopter arched in low, hugging the glacial peaks with military dexterity. "That's odd," he thought. He never saw helicopters this far north. The aircraft landed 50 yards away, kicking up a stinging spray of granulated snow. His dogs whined, looking wary. I'm Estelle, and thank you for listening to my audio samples. I look forward to narrating your next Solid Gold audiobook so you can be heard.